Hey everybody, welcome back. I am continuing to work on the World Project, which is an analysis of populations of the towns in the world, the towns and cities. And this is on the part where we get to work on some fun things. But if you're just joining us right now, this is a data set that I obtained on Kaggle.com. Great place to get data, and it's also free. So if you want to start learning some concepts or just play around with data, they have data sets for everybody, everybody's interest. But anywho, this one gives us pretty much the country, the city in the country, the population, and the GPS coordinates. Now we get to start on the fun things, and in this video I want to cover ranking variables and also a reference variable. So the first thing I like to do when I start a study and I have a data set is I want to make a variable that's a reference. It's basically telling me, hey, this was record number, like for example, this first one right here, Andorra la Vella. Okay, that tells me that this is the first record from the original set that I started working with. So let's go ahead and create our reference. I'm just going to call it ID. This is what I call a counter variable. It's basically the first one. Just put a 1, and then you make a you take the cell previous on top of it and you add a 1. So, and then we're going to copy this all the way down to the bottom and we'll go ahead and paste it. So okay, so it tells us there's 47,980 observation rows, and one of those is the header row, so that's perfect. Hopefully we won't have to use this. Okay, from this data here though, one thing, this is a CSV file, so these are all formulas, they're not values. So what I like to do after I'm sure it's correct, I copy them and then I repaste them as special as values. So now they're just numbers, and so we are done with that. And I want to create a variable associated with the country. The country codes are 2-letter codes, and they're standard, and we're gonna merge those with another file in the future that gives us as we get more information. But the thing is, I want a number associated with the country. Let's do country number. Okay, and let's make this nice and big. Okay, since this is since we're starting out, the first one, this is our first AD. I'm not sure which country that it, no, that's United Arab Emirates. But whatever AD is, that's country number 1. Okay, now we're gonna use an if statement to do all the country codes. And the thing well, let's just get in it. I'm saying if this one is equal to the one above it, then we are going to keep the code of that country, which is 1. So that's this one here. And comma, this is going to be the value if it's false. If it's not, it's going to be country number 2. So it would be I2 plus 1. Okay, does that make sense? And we just want to make sure it works. Okay, so country, okay, AD, and then now we start a new country. And one thing to notice, one thing that you have to be sure of on this is, before you, I already have done this, but before you do the country number, make sure to sort the data by country. Now I'm just going to copy it. I'm using a Control-C, or I can do a right-click and choose copy, and I'm going to click there. I'm going to the bottom of the database, and I'm holding the Shift key down, and I'm clicking there. And I'm going to go ahead and paste that. So now, I'm kind of curious to see how many countries that are represented in this data set. Well, it looks like there's 209. And just to double check, the ZW, this might be Zimbabwe, and this is, I'm not, my geography skills are lacking today. So, okay, so how many countries? 209 total countries. And again, we're going to copy this whole column, and we're going to paste it over itself, and we're going to just paste the values. That way it's not a formula, and so when we save it back as a CSV, we're not going to have, we're just looking at raw data. We're just doing some manual things. Now, I want to do a world ranking of the cities by population. So I click here to select all the data, and I go to the data tab, and I go to sort. I'm going to sort by population. I want to go largest to smallest. And it tells us that Tokyo is the largest city in the world with 31,480,498 people. So now it's sorted, and it's sorted descending. So the biggest number goes down to the smallest number. So let's go ahead and create a world ranking of the city. Okay. Again, we're gonna do 1. Okay. Now this variable is a little bit different. Like the population of these huge cities are, it's going to be unlikely that they're going to have an identical amount of people. Like Cairo, for some reason, has the same amount of people as Lima. So, okay. So we got to take that into account. So here's how we're going to rank it. We're going to use the if statement again. And also, to let you know, Excel has a built-in function, and it's called rank. And you can do this stuff, but this I'm not going to use that function. I'm just going to do it by an if statement. But if you want to learn how to use that, you can Google the rank function of Excel. And if you're using something like Google Sheets or Apple or some other type of spreadsheet, it might be called ranking or something a little bit different, so they don't say, hey, you stole this from us. Okay, so on the world ranking, the first one we know is we know that Tokyo is number 1 on population, and gosh, it's more than twice as much as Shanghai. Okay, so let's do this. Let's start our if statement and let's think logical. Functions, if statement is a function of Excel. So in a cell, when you enter a function, you can you start it off with a plus or an equal. I do plus. Sometimes I do equals. Just matters if I'm having a good day or bad day. So, okay. Now, we are going to see if the population we are going to see on the world ranking if the we want to make sure that they're not identical to the one above it, because otherwise we want them to have the same ranking. So let's do this. If this, and then we're going to say is not equal. If Shanghai, China is not equal to Tokyo, then it's going to be Tokyo's rating +1. It'll be the second largest city. And how we say not equal in Excel is we use this. Okay. And so if they're not equal, and they're not, then we're gonna say that the ranking is this +1. If they are equal, we're just gonna say it's that. And we'll verify this as we go along. Okay, I'm doing a right click, I'm copying this, clicking on the first row that I'm going to paste it on, going down to the bottom, and I'm holding the shift key down, clicking on the last row, and I'm going to paste. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, looks like it's working. So, well, were there any cities that had the same amount of population? I bet some of the smaller ones did. Yeah, look at this. Out of the almost 48,000 towns and cities, 20 how would you say this? There are 28,753 ranks. So you take the 48,000 minus the 28,000, and that's about the amount. That's the amount that of cities that have the same population. And let's see what's going on. This town has a population of 7, and that's in Russia. So if you are in Lyskorovo, Russia, and your neighbor moves, that's a big thing. Now these towns here, these would be good if you wanted to be mayor, because you just have to win just some of the votes. But anyhow, enough of that. So now we have created our world ranking list. Sometimes we get online and we say, hey, what are the 50 largest cities? Well, according to this data set, at this snapshot of data for the time that it was taken, we would look at this list, and these would be our top cities in order. Okay, so again, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it over itself, and I'm just going to do the values. Now there's one other thing I want to rank. I want to rank the largest cities in their country. So let's create a variable called a country ranking. So for example, in the United States, New York is the largest city, and I don't know, I've seen where they put Los Angeles number 2 and Chicago number 2, and sometimes I don't know, but anyhow, we want to rank them according to the country. So now, how do we do this? In statistical applications, this would be ranking them by group, but we're using Microsoft Excel, which you can definitely do some basic statistics, and we're gonna push it to the max as we go along. But right here, the country ranking, one thing we need to do is we need to sort our data. We need to sort it by population. We need to sort it by country from, it doesn't matter, A to Z or Z to A, because we're gonna have but we'll keep it, we'll start off with the A's, and then we're going to do it by population. Now we want population largest to smallest. Okay, and we're back at our mystery country, AD, which is probably Andorra. Okay, and now I do not know of an Excel function that does this. Like for like this, we could have used a function called rank, but I am not sure of a function that does that. If there's one built in, or you know, if you do, please put it in the comments below. But we're going to start it off with a 1, because this is the first. We need something to start with. This is the largest city in the country, AD. Okay. Now, we're going to use an if statement. And what we want to make sure, oops, I screwed that up. I'm going to cut that up. Let's just delete it. Boom. Okay. We're going to use plus if. We're going to say if the country, we make country number is equal to the one above it, then we are going to take the ranking and we're going to add a 1. And if they're not equal, that means that, okay, AD is done, and now we're going on to AE. So we go to the next value, and that's going to be the largest city in the next country. So we'll start that one off with a 1. So, okay. And let's just see if this works on a few of them. Okay, so I just copied it over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like AD only has 7 towns, so it must be a small country. Okay, so looks like it's working. And oops, now I can click on any of these except the first one, and I can click copy. And I clicked on the first cell, going down to the bottom, and I'm holding the shift key down, and I click on the last cell. I'm going to go ahead and paste. Okay, so this country, Afghanistan, I would say AF. Let's see what I think it's Kabul. This is the largest city in Afghanistan, and it's the 61st city and 61st largest city in the world. So, okay, so looks like it works. Now, I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna paste it. Oops. I'm gonna paste special, and we're gonna just do values and okay. Okay. So here's what we did today. Also too, I'm gonna get rid of this field. I'm highlighting this. I don't think we're gonna use it. If we need it, we can bring it back. So I'm gonna delete it. So now we gave a reference variable that in the future we'll see we gave a reference variable in the future that we'll see how this comes in handy. We gave a country number, so instead of having a 2-digit text, we just gave it a number. It'll make our life easier in the future. You'll see. We did a world ranking on the city, and we did a country ranking. So that's what we accomplished, and lots of good things to come. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this helps you out. So until next time.